Welcome back, one and all, to the AOR Pro Mazda Championship. It's round 7 from Road America. I'm Justin, and joining me for today's commentary again is Crekkan.
Yeah, hello, great to be back, filling in for Dre once again since he can't make it, but once again, hoping for a good race, and yeah.
Should be a good one. Really looking forward to this one. In relevant league racing news, the race at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which was missed because of technical issues with the iRacing service, has officially been canceled. So we're past the halfway point of the season, and Riku Alatalo now sits at the top of the championship standings after his win at Mid-Ohio over Kerry Nolden. Jordan Howson has dropped to second place in the standings after leading for a large majority of the season, while Patrick White is in third. The top three separated by just 10 points. That's how the championship looks. Now it's time to find out how they'll line up at this classic American road circuit, starting with the side-by-side qualifying comparison.
Road America is one of, if not the most iconic road circuit in the United States. Patrick White, Wagoneers and Carbon Racing's first pole of the season, and Harley Lewis takes us around the circuit. Approaching turn 1 at nearly top speed, light brake pressure is required to glide the car through the corner, riding the curb and using the exit curbing, avoiding the dirt on both sides of the track. Down the hill, the next corner demands the same method, with a perfect exit giving you a nice boost down the straight. Both drivers receive a slipstream as they head towards the 90-degree corner at the end of the first straight. Using the curbing to help slow down the car, on the exit use all of the curbing and just plough towards the next corner. Braking at the shadow, glide your car through the corner and maintain momentum as we head into the flat out turn 7, riding the curb if necessary to the tricky turn 8, being careful with the inside curbing and using the outside curbing to get to the power quickly. The first section of the carousel is taken flat, with a lift in the middle before putting the power down and hoping your car sticks, riding the outside curbing only if absolutely necessary due to its bumpy nature as we head towards the back straight, careful of turn 11 which can be very difficult on cold tyres. Canada Corner is another corner in which you can use all of the exit curbing, and Lewis has to take avoiding action thanks to the incident ahead of him, as he barrels into turn 13 with no fear of the car's track or traction. Getting a good entry and exit out of the last corner is crucial for a good start and end to a lap, as Patrick White takes pole position, Harley Lewis a second behind in 9th position. So Patrick White takes pole position for round 7 of the AOR Pro Mazda Championship, with Kerry Nolden continuing his streak of successive front row starts in 2nd place, only 800ths behind. Marcus Jensen continues to impress in 3rd place, with White's teammate Reineck in 4th. Van den Broek will be experiencing vertigo in a qualifying best of 5th, with Colin Cunniff just behind in 6th. Hoping to keep his Independence Championship hopes intact is Phil in 7th, with Alkiavi in 8th. Lewis and Mintner round up the top 10, with barely 200 separating the two drivers. Peter Newman is the first of the Peter Newman Media drivers in 11th, followed by Martinson in 12th. Leicester sporting a new livery in 13th, with Plumley in 14th. Jordan Howson will do himself no favours qualifying in 15th position, Spears just behind in 16th. The Swede Johansson and Robinson are 17th and 18th respectively, with the last of the Peter Newman Media drivers, Saltalimakia, in 19th. Kager rounds out the top 20. Imre and Van Rompuy are the last two qualifiers and a reduced squad of 22 drivers for round 7 of the AOR Pro Mazda Championship at Road America.
It's race time from Road America. Third place championship sitter Patrick White is on pole position, and once again, Kerry starts from the front row for the 7th race in a row. Newcomer Marcus Jensen starts in third and in only his second race and could be pressuring Nolden heading into turn 1. This is White's first time on pole this season, and with multiple overtaking locations at this track, it could be very difficult for him. We are sitting on the grid waiting for the lights to go green. Immense pressure for these guys up at the front, and a little bit of movement there from Patrick White. I'm wondering if that's going to be an issue. He didn't move forward, but the lights are green now, and we are away. Patrick White cleanly away, and so is Nolden, although he's getting a little bit of pressure from Jensen there, but it looks like he's going to slot in behind him. And of course, there is just a gaggle of cars in the background there. Colin Cunniff in 4th position. Nolden, look, and there's been a huge contact there. That's one of the ACR cars, and I do believe that's Harley Lewis in that Red Bull style testing livery, and that was a huge incident between them. Cunniff up from 6th place. He's up into 2nd now. He's moved ahead of Nolden and also Jensen as well. He's up into 2nd place. Great start for him, and holy cow, that is it's a fantastic start for Cunniff. Not so much for Lewis though.
No, it's not. I mean, he just went everywhere. It's like doing a little breakdance with the robot, but this is just a mess of cars trying to take positions. I mean, this is a very slipstream-like track, so we should be seeing these cars all bunched up together for a few laps. But through these next 3 corners, it's just keeping the traction, getting the tyres warmed up, and not crashing into anybody. As Gregor Reinach is going around the outside of Brock's, just holding onto the position, but of course Reinach's going to have the inside line. He's going to try and take the position now, and I think Brock's going to have to give up. But this is not a super clean start, but of course there's only like 2 drivers taken out there as they go onto the back straight.
Yeah, it certainly was not great for them, but it does appear that everybody else is settling into their positions very nicely here. Kind of coming under pressure from Jensen. Oh, and actually at some point here, Nolden got back ahead of Cunniff. I'm not sure if that happened at the carousel or where that may have happened, but and now Cunniff coming under attack from Jensen, and just behind him Phil Reed as well. And some very close battling here, except for up at the front. It does appear that Patrick White is pulling away a little bit of a gap. Seems that Kerry Nolden, the only person that seems to be really within touch of him. Yeah, and we've got a little bit of a train forming here behind Colin Cunniff, and having a hard time seeing what number ACR car that was. Oh, that's a 51. That's Brock, actually. Doing pretty well at the moment. I think he's in 7th at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe that's 7th. And he's riding just behind Gregor Reinach Jr., and it looks like there's a little bit of battling going on. Yeah, that's a battle for 5th. It looks like Cunniff is going to lose another position there. He's coming under attack. I believe that's Phil Reed. It sure is. That is Phil Reed, but he's all over the back of Jensen. It looks like he's getting boxed in.
They're all going side by side, going down this straight. I mean, Jensen started to be overtaken turn 1, and of course they're all bunching up. They can't really find a way past. Minna, he's trying to find a way past, but oh my, 3 wide into the corners. Brock 3 wide, he's nearly got hit there as they're all trying to get desperately past the slower drivers and trying to make up positions. Mittner, he's gaining a lot. Howson in the middle of there. Branax lost a lot of positions as well, and just chaos in these starting laps as we go on to a replay of the start, Justin.
Yep, so here's a replay. Very nice aerial angle here. Really enjoying this one. You can really see how all the cars got away. Really not too much excitement from the top 3, as you can see from the start. But boy, the next 3 cars, Reinach, Brock, and Cunniff, really jockeying for position heading into turn 1. Pretty high-speed corner. Ooh. With those cold tires, of course, very difficult. And there's that contact. Huge contact. As you said, the car just breakdancing off the circuit, and that left a pretty large gap where those cars used to be.
Some close moments with Patrick White. He looked like he lost a bit of traction going into turn 1, and of course here's that massive crash. Timu Valkyarbi just sideswiped as Harley gets airborne, then onto the roll bar, and he's just spinning on. It's just a massive crash.
Yeah, the car is essentially a top at that point, with the top of the roll hoop being the point that it's spinning on, and very unfortunate for Valkyarvi. I've got to imagine he's got rear wing damage once again. Not sure what his position is currently in the race.
I think he's out of the race, actually.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I wasn't sure if he was even in the race anymore, but once again, Valkyarvi with that very, very unfortunate bad luck that he has had to deal with all season, returning once again. But we are live now once again on lap 3, and Phil Reed all over the back of Colin Cuniff, and Marcus Jensen unable to pull away from the two of them, really, and he is definitely out of the slipstream from the top guys. It does appear that Nolden has pulled away quite a bit, as well as Patrick White. There is a pretty hefty gap. I mean, we can't even see them.
Oh, there's contact in the background. That's Brock. He's gone into the back of Reed. Reed looks like he's got some damage on the rear wing. Brock's also going to have some front wing damage, but it looks like Brock was so busy defending from Mintner, but he just didn't brake in time, and he's hitting to Reed. Hopefully the two drivers aren't hurt too much by it, but that's not going to help them at all. As Jensen now, Jensen's lost traction.
Wow, and that's going to drop him right down the order. As we can see, the car's just going flying by. He has managed to keep it out of the barrier, so he is going to be able to continue his race without any damage, but he's going to have to slot in behind Nigel Spears. He's trying to hang it around the outside of the carousel there, but he is unable to, so he's going to have to slot in behind Spears and try and get that slipstream and maybe take the position back later on down the line. This is Housen now, and is that Brock he's having a look at? I do believe it is, heading into turn 12. This is going to be a very popular overtaking location, as at the inside line there, was that Reineck Jr.? I believe it was. That was Gregor Reineck Jr. Taking Phil Reed. Indeed, that sure was. It was Gregor Reineck Jr. with a very nice move, very clean, straightforward move there. And there's Jensen already past Nigel Spears. He is all fired up, I'm sure, from that mistake. I don't think there was any sort of contact or anything like that. I don't know if we'll get a replay of it, but certainly Jensen, it didn't appear that there was any sort of contact. I think he spun on his own volition there. We're having a look now. That is Vandenbroek with Jordan Housen all over the back of him. Second place championship sitter, previous championship leader Jordan Housen is going to have the inside line for turn 1, and it looks like he is going to move ahead of Gino Vandenbroek, and once again he's going to have the inside line for turn 3. I know it might seem to a lot of viewers that this would be turn 2, but it is actually turn 3. But no, Brock hangs it around the outside, defends that position. Wow, that was very impressive defending from Brock. So whatever damage he may or may not have does not seem to be impacting his performance all that much.
Well, he's not usually up this high up the field. I mean, he qualified 5th. That's highest he's ever been. As Housen is going to try and overtake on the inside at the end of the straight. Oh, Brock cuts him off. He is determined to hold on to that position. And yeah, as I said, he's not used to being up this high, and I guess he just wants to score points. Avid Chronic Racing, American team, this is another home race for them. They're trying to stay in 3rd place, but with Carbon Racing's Patrick White and Gregor Reineck way up into the points. White actually leading the race, as you know. It's going to be a very difficult task for the only Avid Chronic Racing driver left in the race to score enough points to stay in 3rd. So this is just a matter of honour, to be honest, being as close to Carbon Racing as possible, and Brock making up for all those DNFs in the first 5 and 6 races.
Yep, and I mean, not far behind them at all is Peter Newman of Peter Newman Media. He is right behind this pair, watching them battle it out. Housen again looks to be having a peek, but no, he thinks better of it. He slots in behind Vandenbroek, just ahead of Vandenbroek. That is Phil Reed, unable to pull a gap, surprisingly enough, despite the battling between Housen and Brock. And I wonder if and he's got rear wing damage. So
yeah, that'll be the early incident between Brock and Reed, when Brock just completely outbroke himself, or didn't put on the brakes at all in time. And of course, Reed is probably going to have trouble with the slipstream, having that damaged rear wing. I guess Valkyarvi would know how that feels, so Reed's getting a bit of a lesson of how Valkyarvi feels every week. But Brock is going to try and overtake on the inside. He's just got by, but I think Reed's onto the gravel. He's way onto the gravel. He's going to try, Housen's going to try and overtake now, and Reed is losing positions. He's already lost one. Is he going to lose another? No, not of a minute. And of course, Reed's in the slipstream of a minute. But Housen with the non-damaged rear wing, he's just going to get a better, drive out down the straight.
Yep, and there is Peter Newman as well, really getting into the mix. He's looking to demote Reed yet another position. He's already lost a couple of them, and that's somebody going very deep into the corner there.
That was Leicester with the new livery, and Marcus Jensen just getting a bit too close for comfort. And yeah, that wasn't very nice to see, but of course, early laps, high fuel loads, you're just trying to warm everything up and get used to the car.
Yep, certainly with the high-speed nature of this circuit, I would expect the tires to be up to temperature at this point. But wow, here it is. Here is Peter Newman. It looked like Reed really had to defend the inside line for the carousel there. And we're back up at the front. And is that Nolden in the lead?
Yeah,
I do believe that is Nolden in the lead.
Must have overtaken Patrick White, but of course Patrick White, he's going to try and get by. He's going to try and get past again, and he looks like he's got it. So battling for the lead here. And Nolden, he's just gone a bit too wide and lost a bit of time there.
Very straightforward move there from Patrick White. He's really showing some nice maturity. He's keeping his head cool. He really has not been struggling in this race. It's been a great race for him so far. I got to imagine Nolden is actually a little bit surprised that he's having to deal with Patrick White. I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit of a relaxing race up at the front today with both of the nuclear racing cars absent from this race, but that is not the case at all as he gets passed by Patrick White at the end of lap 5 there. And here is Phil Reed trying to claw back some of those positions that he's lost. Jordan Housen moving ahead of Gino Vandenbroek heading into turn 1 now, and everybody in order, nobody going side by side there, so we can see exactly just how powerful the slipstream is there as something funny happening with Reed. Yeah, some interesting things happening with Reed's car there. He's run straight off the circuit. I'm wondering if this is intentional or not. Now I'm thinking it's not, because he has rejoined the circuit. He's going to have the inside line for turn 5 here, and this is for the lead of the race now, and it looks like Nolden is going to take it back, yeah, because he's going to have the inside line heading into turn 6 there, and there is Jordan Housen trying to defend from Peter Newman, who is right up on the back of those two, and now Housen having a look at Vandenbroek. It is really relentless, this race, as far as the action that's going on. Phil Reed, though, now coming under attack from Marcus Jensen, who has moved his way back up through the field, is now pressuring Phil Reed in this, I mean, really, it's a 6-way battle for what I believe is 3rd place in this race right now. Or yeah, 6th place, thank you. But Marcus Jensen really showing some excellent pace here as Patrick White having a look once again. He's going to have the inside line. This looks like it's going to be a carbon copy move. No pun intended from the carbon racing driver there. It looks like it's going to be the exact same move that he made last lap, and it is. Very straightforward move. It really doesn't seem that Kerry has any sort of interest in defending the inside line at turn 12 there.
No, I mean, the nature of a track, it's just slipstream after slipstream, so there's not really much point defending unless you're desperate for the position. And of course, even though it is 1st place, I mean, this is lap 6 of 24, so best bet is to just keep driving and hoping one of them makes a mistake, or just leaving it to the end of the race where the overtakes really matter. As this battle for 6th place continues, it looks like we're going to go 3 wide down the straight. Marcus Jensen, he's climbing up the field. Phil Reed is in the middle of it with that damaged rear wing. Pete Newman on the outside. Who's going to take the position? Jensen's going to overtake both of them. No, Pete Newman's going to keep on it. He's going to try and hold on to the position, and he does. So Pete Newman and Marcus Jensen moving up a position, but Marcus Jensen, he's not relenting. He's been a real revelation. This is his first proper race as a proper driver. His debut race last race, but of course Nolden, he's overtaking. No, he can't get past White, but White runs wide. So Nolden, he takes the lead once again.
Yep, heading into turn 6 now. Yeah, it's a double left-hander there, turns 5 and 6. So if you've got the inside line for 5, you're going to have the inside line for 6. And Reed going very wide off the track there, going to be going side by side with Peter Newman into turn 6 here with the outside line. If he can hang it on, he'll get the inside line for turn 7. And it looks like he's done exactly that. Ooh. Peter Newman, it's very close racing between them. No contact, though, I don't think, through turn 7 there. But Peter Newman has the inside line for turn 8 there, and that is a very tight corner. And he does take that position before going into the carousel here. Very high-speed corner here. Maybe you can give us a little bit of insight into this corner, Crekkan. Is this a flat-out carousel in these cars?
No, it's not. You do have to lift off as you approach after the midway point. But Nolan, he's trying to get past Patrick. Oh, no, he's lost it. He's lost it. He's into the gravel. Does he recover? Yes, he does. He's still in the race, but he's going to be caught up with the other drivers behind. And this is just a mess of cars trying to overtake each other. Christoph Leister there behind Reed. His new livery, just to remind you. And this is, again, a massive battle for 6th overall. But gaps are starting to form as the battles intensify, as Jensen continues his climb up the field after his mistake on a lap 2, I believe, and this is looking really close and really difficult for all the drivers.
Yep, and here we go. Halsen going side by side with Brock, and it looks like Jensen might be looking to make it a 3-wide battle into turn 1 again. This time he's got the inside. He's in the middle, in between them. Halsen's got the inside line. Brock's got the outside line. It looks like Jensen's taken them both up into 6th position now. Fantastic racing from Marcus Jensen here. Really, really wonderful to see the newcomer really feeling very comfortable in the league already. We're having a look now. This is the battle for now 2nd place, and that is Kerry Nolden trying to defend. Actually, I'm not so sure. He's
defending. He had a little incident, of course, but he's defending from Mittner and Cunniff, as well as Gregor Reinach, Patrick White's teammate. So again, we're going 3 wide into this corner. Christoph Leistner, he's trying to make his way over the field, and so close to contact between Peter Newman and Phil Reed there.
Yep, very close stuff there, and once again, Peter Newman battling side by side with cars. Seems like he's in a battle just about every lap, and that looks like contact to me. That looks like contact with Phil Reed to me. He's going to have the inside line for turn 8, though. He should be able to safely take that position, and he does. He's going to have to defend the inside line of the carousel, though, but it's a very, very long right-hander is the carousel. Very difficult to stay around the outside, and he is going to hang on to that position is Peter Newman, who I got to say is doing a fantastic race today. This is already, I think, one of the best races we have seen from Peter Newman so far. And actually,
this is a great race for Peter Newman Media. All 3 cars there, very close to the top 10. And in the top 10, of course, as Phil Reed, he's going to try and get past Peter Newman, Christoph Leister. He's thinking about it, but he's going to stick behind. What happens here? Phil Reed, he's got the line. There's a massive crash. Peter Newman and Phil Reed have crashed into each other. As Leister, I think he's backed off. I don't know why he's backed off, but that's a disaster for Peter Newman there.
Yep, that is very unfortunate, and we've got Mittner all over the back of Kerry Nolden at the moment, moving back up to the front. And of course, this is great news for Patrick White at the front of the race. If he could just keep it on the black stuff and just focus on having clean races, clean laps, that this could be very good news for him, though. Mittner all over the back of Nolden, heading into turn 3 now. Once again, Kerry defending the inside line, which means his exit speed is going to be compromised. Again, though, he defends the inside line, heading up for the next corner at turn 5. Mittner is going to have to go around the outside of 5 or 6, possibly. We're on board with, I do believe this is Colin Cunniff, that we're on board with right now, and he's going to have a look up the inside of Mittner, and with Nolden just ahead, not too far, but no, everybody slots into the positions that they were in, and I imagine that's going to be probably no more overtaking for those 3. And here's a replay between, this is Mittner and Robinson, or is that Mittner? No, I'm sorry, that's not Mittner. Yep, that is Johansson, and that was Robinson that he made contact with. Very unfortunate incident right there between the 2 cars, and that is some serious damage to his front wing for Johansson there, and it looks like he may even be pulling off to the side. Yep, and he is retiring from the race, deciding that that is enough for him, unfortunately. Picking back up, oh no, this is the replay that we saw, and just, yeah, the oversteer, which we saw from Nolden as well at turn 12. Difficult corner, and we could see there Peter Newman, his car just stuck upside down. Very unfortunate. And here, once again, this is another slow motion replay. Phil Reed, just was such an unfortunate race for him. Really not much that he could do about that. Of course, he didn't end up as the one that was upside down, though. Peter Newman was the one that ended up upside down in, well, not in the middle of the track, but he's definitely on the racing line as they come out of that right-hand corner. People are going to be all over that curbing. Thankfully, though, everybody's race engineer going to be warning them about the car on the left side of the track as they're going through that corner. But once again, here we are picking up with the live racing once again. And this is, we're finishing up lap 9.
Yeah, we are on board with Christoph Leister as he overtakes Sotali Makia. This is for a 10th place actually now because of Phil Reed and Peter Newman's incident. So these 4 drivers actually are moving up the field. Martinson, he's behind this group of cars as Saltalimacchia tries and gets past Leicester and keep up with his teammate Robert Plumley.
Yep, so as you were mentioning, it was looking like a fantastic race for Peter Newman and Peter Newman Media. Now it's mainly just looking like a good race for Peter Newman Media. Once again, we are on board with Saltalimacchia. Robert Plumley coming under attack, though, into turn 5 here, and he's going to have to defend around the outside. Very difficult corner to do that. He runs very wide, dipping a wheel in the dirt ever so slightly. He's going to switch back to the inside line, but no, he's not able to brake late enough to challenge into turn 6 there. So now he has got Saltalimacchia, his teammate, all over the back of him in that new livery, matching his 2 teammates with the orange on there. And Robert Plumley, oh no, and wow, and right off the track there, that's
Leicester off, and I think he's out of the race because that was a lot of damage in the rear wing and the rear tires as well. So I think that's Christoph out of the race unless he can try and make it back to the pits for repairs. But even if he can get back to the pits for repairs, it might take too long to actually classify at the end of the race. But we're also getting word from the pit lane that Norden has pitted. He's done another early pit stop, so I'm wondering how that's going to pan out later on in the race as we go back to this battle for, I believe, it's 10th place between the 2 Peter Newman Media cars, Martinson and Lee and Robinson in the background there.
Yeah, Robinson, of course, had that contact with Johansson not too long ago. That ended much worse for Johansson, though. But Martinson as well, who we haven't seen much in this race yet, as we're approaching the halfway point. He's probably going to be looking to pressure those 2 up at the front. This is Reineck Jr. coming under attack from Michael Bittner, and I do believe that's Colin Cuniff just behind them. Once again, we're approaching the halfway point of the race. Pit stops are open, as mentioned, by Crekkan. Kerry Nolden already into the pits, is he going to move to the inside line? No, he is not. He's going to stay behind for now, is Michael Mittner, and he's just going to, I think, probably just sit back and wait for a nice opportunity rather than push it. Still a lot of laps remaining still here. 12 laps, 13 laps still remaining, actually, in this race. So Michael Mittner's got plenty of time to try and make this overtake, and it's a pretty big gap to the car up ahead, so there's not much to gain and lots to lose if he makes any sort of mistake trying to overtake Gregor Reineck Jr. here.
Yes, of course. I mean, again, we're only halfway to the race finish, but it might be worth mentioning that this race, even though it's 24 laps, it's actually about 20 seconds shorter than the race at Spa earlier on in the season. So this race is going to wrap up a little bit earlier, of course, but it doesn't mean you have to just go mad and dive bomb everybody. You just got to be patient and wait for the opportune moment. We still, of course, have half of the race distance to go, and yes, I'm guessing that Minna's going to just wait, and Reineck's going to just try and hold him to the position. He's in second at the moment. It's Carbon Racing 1 and 2.
Yeah, really impressive race for the Carbon Racing boys. They got to be really excited. Of course, they will know about their own teammates' positions at this point. So surely these guys know exactly what this means for not just their own championships, but for the team championship as well. This is a huge race as things stand at the moment. And is that Jensen in the distance behind Cuniff?
It looks like it is. Yeah. Jensen, of course, he's actually been pretty quick. He qualified in third place, just showing how quick he is around this circuit. And he's just recovering from that spin earlier on. I think we'll get confirmation. Yeah, that does definitely look like Jensen. As Cuniff, he's going to try and overtake Mittner. One thing to say about Carbon Racing is that Carbon Racing only really formed at Donington. Of course, Patrick White and Gregor Reineck were independents before that. As Cuniff, he's going to overtake for second place. As Reineck is demoted to third. That was a great move from Cuniff.
Wow.
If not from that far behind.
two cars in two corners of fantastic, well, not even really, because one of them was on the straight, so two cars in one corner, you could say, from Colin Cunniff. That was absolutely beautiful to watch as well, because really no drama. I mean, you could see the control that Colin Cunniff had over the situation. He really just, he appraised what was happening. He knew what he needed to do. He executed it flawlessly. He's up into second place as we're coming towards the end of the second half of the lap. And this is lap 12, of course, so we're right up at the halfway point now. Colin Cunniff moves up into second place, and really fantastic stuff from Cunniff there. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled about it as well. And, of course, the big question now for Cunniff is whether or not he can actually pull a gap from Mittner and White here.
Yes, of course, Colin Cunniff was a privateer driving for Friction Racing, but Friction Motorsports, I should say, and he's just driving his own race, trying to get up the standings. And again, I mean, they're just going at it seems, but of course these pit stops could happen at any time. As Cunniff actually on, but no, he goes into the pits at the halfway point. So these pit stop strategies in the last few races have definitely evolved, as I think Marcus Jensen went into the pits as well. As Mittner tries to overtake Reinach onto the straight, he's going to have the inside line for the first turn. Will he make it stick though? Of course he can try and stay on the outside, but nope. Reinach's going to have to give up a position for now as Mittner moves into second place.
Yep, very impressive stuff going side by side once again into turn 3. And it looks like Mittner is going to have to slot in behind, and he moves across. Reinach Jr. is going to defend the inside line, or is he? He's kind of in the middle of the track now. He moves back over to the left. He realizes that he's going to be coming under attack. Again, it's a double left-hander here, turns 5 and 6. So if you've got the inside line for 5, you'll have the inside line for 6. Looks like Mittner is going to have to just kind of settle in, though, and no side-by-side battling for the pair of them on this occasion, as we're now past the halfway point. Really not too much remaining, and of course the pit window is firmly open at this point, and we're going to be seeing these guys coming into the pits any lap now, I can imagine. We're on board with Plumley at the moment, who is just behind Saltalamacchia, his teammate, of course. The two Peter Newman media cars, again, running very well. Unfortunately, their team boss, Peter Newman, out of this race after that contact at turn 12, which resulted in his car landing upside down on the circuit, on the racing line. Really not much that he could do. Of course, he could get a tow, but I mean, that's just going to be so damaging to his race at that point that really not much that you could salvage from that. Going through the carousel right now, and there's that lift that you told me about earlier. I'm glad we got to go on board through the carousel, and you can hear that lift at about the midway point of the corner. Really fantastic corner, possibly the best corner of the circuit, according to a lot of drivers, not just from this series, but all sorts of series. Robert Plumley really getting a strong slipstream. Saltalamacchia defending the inside line. We can't see exactly where Saltalamacchia is, and no, he's taking that position. Robert Plumley takes the position from his teammate. Plenty of laps still remaining, of course, from the pair of these guys. Plumley is going to have to defend from Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia will have plenty of opportunities to retake the position, and I wonder if we're going to see one of these cars dive into the pits. We do not. They're going to continue on for another lap as they come to the end of lap 13 and start their 14th lap in this race. Very high-speed circuit, as you mentioned before. It's a very, very short lap comparatively to the length of the circuit. Robert Plumley is coming under attack now again because of the slipstream. He had the inside line for turn 1, but no, Saltalamacchia just had that straight line speed, moves ahead going into the first corner, and he's going to hold on to that position. And it looks like Plumley is quite a ways back there, actually, so it doesn't look like he's really going to be a threat. And back up at the front here is Patrick White, his first pole position of the season. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the first person to get pole position that isn't from Nuclear Racing or from the AOR team. So very impressive stuff from Patrick White here, showing some impressive speed and consistency as well. It's really fantastic to see what Patrick White's been doing with this race.
Yes, it is, and all through the season he's been very consistent. A few 7th places, 4th. He's been on the podium in the previous races so far, and of course, from what I can tell from the championship predictions, if Patrick White stays in first place and finishes ahead of Nolden, because of Nuclear Racing not turning up, I think Patrick White might actually take the lead of the standings, which would be amazing for Carbon Racing. Again, a newly formed team from Donington, But yeah, if Patrick White just stays where he is, I think he might just take the lead of the standings.
Yeah, the only people ahead of him in the standings heading into this race were Howson and Alatalo. Howson is currently in 4th position. Alatalo not in the race, of course, today. And Kerry is actually 1 point behind Patrick White in the championship, as there's been an off-track moment there for Saltalamacchia, it looked like, and Robert Plumley going to stay ahead. And is that?
That's Robinson.
Oh, it's Robinson? Okay, I thought it was Lyser. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, it's Robinson. All over the back of Saltalamacchia now, coming onto the straight. Saltalamacchia, though, of course, getting that slipstream from his teammate Plumley. But going back to the championship standings, Patrick White is actually 1 point ahead of Kerry Nolden. So any sort of points gain that he gets on him is all going to go to his points gap in the championship. Of course, there is going to be a drop round later on in the season, and that is one of the downsides to being a consistent driver, is that you're going to have a relatively high score that gets dropped from your championship's points. But as it stands right now, he's already ahead of Kerry, and if he can keep this up, he's just going to be extending that gap.
Yes, of course, and of course now, even though we have only 10 rounds this season, because of the cancellation of the race at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and of course the Boxing Day break, only 9 rounds are going to count at the minute. So yeah, I mean, getting the higher place scores, it does really help in the end.
Yeah, because you don't want to be dropping, a 4th place or a 3rd place or something like that. And I don't think Patrick's gonna be dropping anything like that. But certainly, the more consistent you are, again, it has a greater effect once we get into the drop weeks. But let's focus a little bit more on what's actually happening on track. Saltalamacchia is still behind his teammate Plumley, with Robinson just behind them as well. This is a 3-way battle. For what is currently 5th position, but not a net 5th position, of course.
I think the net position will be around about 10th place. That's what I remember from before the pit stops. Of course, these guys, I think everyone currently at the front is going to wait until their fuel tanks are completely dry, so I'm expecting them to pit sometime around lap 18, 19, 20. But even then, 20 might be a stretch and a half. But of course, these drivers are just going to wait out as long as they can. They're probably actually using the toe to their advantage, because it might, if they don't battle each other, they're probably going to get a bit of an advantage with lap time. But of course, Saltalamacchia, he's not going to listen to that advice. He's going to try and overtake his teammate Robert Plumley, as Robinson is just waiting in the background, hoping that something happens. But Plumley, he's backing out of that.
Once again, though, and I've noticed this from the Peter Newman racing cars, as they overtake each other, they're not actually going side by side through the corner. They may be going side by side into corners, but they're not at the apex of the corners going side by side. So I think you're right that the slipstream is actually helping these guys, because they're really not side by side battling. Yes, they're overtaking each other back and forth, but they really seem to be very considerate to each other. They're giving the car, Plumley right there, heading into turn 1, really conceded that position to Saltalamacchia, which means neither one of them lost very much time, much to the chagrin of Leon Robinson, who is just behind them and possibly hoping to pick up a couple of slots here. But the two teammates here are running together very well, using that slipstream to good effect, and as you mentioned, that could pay heavy dividends when it comes time for them to do their pit stops.
Yes, of course, and might be nice to mention about Pierre Newman. He's probably on the pit wall just asking them to, do this strategy, get that time advantage and see if it gets them any further positions. Of course, someone might make a mistake in the pit stops, and that would mean an extra position for both the drivers. Of course, Peter Newman, they're fighting in the standings for 4th position. They're currently 5th and are trying to catch up to Aberchronic Racing, as you can hear Robert Plumley just lifting off.
I heard that too.
Yeah, he's probably hoping that Robinson doesn't go for the attack. I'm wondering if Robinson is kind of going along with this, because of course he could get a bit of an advantage as well. But yeah, this is currently about for 5th, and it's probably for 10th or 9th overall, as we get just a little reminder of who's in front. Patrick White. He's doing a very good job. He's just being nice and consistent. And of course, he's got just nothing. He's got nothing around him, so he's relaxing, but of course he's gonna have to go quick to make sure that once he pits, he doesn't get overtaken by Nolden or even Cunniff.
Yep, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I do believe these cars are becoming faster as the race goes on, purely because you gain more speed from burning off the fuel versus the amount of time that you lose from tire wear and stuff. Actually, let me get back onto this. This is Hausen and Vandenbroek, if I'm not mistaken. Hausen with the inside line heading into turn 5. Vandenbroek looks like he has got nothing in response for that, and that is a very straightforward and easy move for Jordan Hausen as he moves up into 4th position, or what is currently 4th position, if I'm not mistaken.
I think this is currently 5th position, and I think this will actually be a net battle for 6th, because only one of the drivers ahead have pitted so far. But these two drivers have been battling all race. It's just that there's just 2 of them now, and of course there's been other action down the field, so we haven't actually been able to focus on them a lot. But Vandenbroek, he's definitely in a different territory, but actually in 3rd place from the looks of things. But this is a different place for Brock to be in. He's usually in the midfield, but to be so far up, even not counting the pit stops, actually, it's pretty impressive. As Brock, he's going to try and overtake again. This slipstream game of me to you, you to me. It's pretty impressive.
Wow. Yeah. Just flew by. I mean, just really breezed by heading into turn 12 there. I mean, that was surprising, actually. I mean, he had half a car length on Hausen heading into the corner there, possibly using a little bit of late braking as well, just to sort of extend that gap. And it looks like coming out of the final corner there, and there goes Brock into the pits at the end of lap 17. So he's only got a 7-lap stint to do on the new set of tires, as Jordan Hausen, though, continues on for another lap. And as we were talking about earlier, you do gain more time for burning off the fuel than you lose from the tires wearing down. So Jordan Hausen could have the advantage in that battle with Vandenbroek, depending on how his pit stops go. And this is Alexander Van Rompuy with Patrick White just behind. So Patrick White has pit as well, unless this is
oh no, I think
traffic.
This is him lapping traffic.
Okay.
Because I mean, you can't see any of the other drivers around him, like Nolden and Cunniff. As we get a replay, this is from lap 16, and oh, that's Reinak.
Yes.
He's hit the wall. Reinak's hit the wall. I don't know if he's managed to get back to the pits, but that's definitely not helped. He's what is he planning? Oh, he's actually stopped.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That'll be, I don't know. It will try and get a tow back to the pits. I mean, when you decide to pull off like that, you can just pull off into the pits and get a tow. But it'd be wonder if you get back onto the track and try and score some low scoring points at least.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for the Carbon Racing guys there. Gregor Reinak Jr. was having a fantastic race. Not quite as good as Patrick White, mind you, but still had a great race for both of them. That's very unfortunate that he made that contact with the barrier there. We had a little look-see there at Kerry Nolden, who was being pressurized a little bit by Colin Cunniff. So the pit stop is, oh no, and that's a mistake from Patrick White. And is he going to pit? He's forced to pit. I'm not sure if that was intended or not, but he spun. He got a bit of oversteer that sent him in the direction of the pit entrance, and he has decided to go ahead and dive into the pits at the end of lap 18. So 75% into the race, and he's just now going into the pits. And that, I don't think that's going to have enough of effect, though. He had such a lead going into the pit stop phases that I really don't think it's going to have too much effect of an effect on his race. I really do think that he's going to be okay, just as so long as he hits his pit box, he hits all his markers and gets away cleanly. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for him here. And this is actually, is this Martinson?
That's Martinson, but we're going back to the leaders. We'll find out, did that affect him at all? Oh, White's still in the pits. He's only just got out. So, oh no, he has lost a lot of time. He's only just got out of the pits. So Nolden takes the lead with Cunniff behind. Can Patrick White catch back up and take back the lead? But that was a disaster. I mean, Van Rompuy seemed to want to follow him in with that pro rallycross. But yeah, this is a disaster for Patrick White. He's lost first place and is now in 3rd.
Unbelievable for the Carbon Racing guys. I mean, they went from being from leading a 1-2 earlier in this race. Now the leader, Patrick White, down into 3rd position. His teammate Gregor Reinak Jr. hitting the wall. and losing significant amounts of time as well. It is falling apart for the Carbon Racing team here in the latter stages of this race, and it's all coming together now for Kerry Nolden, though. With the Nuclear Racing boys gone, this is exactly what Nolden needs. He hasn't shown the best of pace this weekend, certainly has not been at the same sort of, I hate to use the word dominance, but he hasn't had that same sort of pace over the other drivers that he's had at previous circuits, and this is exactly what he's needed to kind of give him a boost in the championship. He's still got Colin Cunniff not that far behind him, but if I'm not mistaken, that gap is actually growing. We're going down the very long straight, if you can call it a straight. There's a couple kinks in there, but certainly it is flat out in these high downforce Star Mazdas, and it looks like he is going to be perfectly safe, yeah, under no threat whatsoever into turn 12 there from Colin Cunniff, and things are looking excellent now with only 5 laps remaining for Kerry Nolden.
Yes, definitely. I mean, what Patrick White needs to rely on is these two battling for position, and of course, if that happens, Patrick White might be able to just get enough of a tow to start closing back in, and hopefully, for him at least, getting back into that first position, or at least second place. It just depends on how quick Nolden picks up the pace.
I'm not so sure he's, I mean, look at the gap. I mean, if Patrick White's getting a slipstream right now, it is minimal. It is negligible for sure. It's not very strong at all. What he needs to do, though, is he needs to be well aware of his pace. He needs to know that he is faster than these guys. He outqualified these guys. He's got every opportunity. He's got 5 laps still remaining, just under 5 laps still remaining in this race. And, of course, he has the potential of Cunniff battling with Nolden as well. If the two of them start going side by side, Patrick White will have a relatively easy job of regaining that position, as we're on board with Martinson now. Of course, the only other AOR car in the race, Lucan's not in the race today. Martinson, though, going through turn 1 now through this very beautiful circuit. Really, really enjoy Road America. Love the curbing as well, and just the setting of it. And it's just a beautiful track. It really suits this car as well. Maybe not hitting the same top speeds that you might see in a higher performance vehicle, but it really just suits this Star Mazda as we're coming into turn 5 here now, and really closing up on Saltalamacchia now, but no, he's not able to get too close. Saltalamacchia running a little bit wide at the exit there of turn 5, just clipping that dirt, just kissing it, giving a little kiss at the exit, just to show Martinson that he means business and he's not going to be letting up. Of course, Saltalamacchia, though, not getting any sort of slipstream, no draft, no top speed benefit for him. So if Martinson plays his cards right, and oh, that is a big oversteer moment for Saltalamacchia through turn 8 there, as we're coming into the carousel. Martinson, I think he can smell weakness in Saltalamacchia if he can get a nice run out of the carousel, but no, actually Saltalamacchia with a much better drive out of the exit of the carousel there.
It
really
looked like
Martinson.
It looked like Martinson had a lot of understeer going through there, and it might be wise to mention that Robert Plumley actually got caught for speeding, and he had to stay back for about 15 seconds, so that's why he's not here, as Martinson tries to go around the outside. Vittorio, he's just closed the door there. But yeah, Martinson, this is about for 8th position, and you can just see for that entire lap how much Martinson closed in, just how much that slipstream really affects it. But of course, Saltalamacchia has been a bit scruffy this lap, and nearly completely losing it before the carousel. But it will be interesting to see if Martinson, how strong this toe is. How strong is this toe? And you can just see how much. And Martinson's closing by. Saltalamacchia is not even bothering.
Yeah,
Martinson is gone.
He had a bad final corner as well. Saltalamacchia, he was about a meter off of the apex, but no, he's coming back at him at the exit of the corner. I bet Martinson didn't see that coming, and Saltalamacchia is going to have the inside line for turn 3, and he's going to take the position back straight away. Of course, his exit speed now is going to be a little bit hindered, and they're coming onto this. It's sort of the 3rd longest straight. Again, very high-speed circuit here. Martinson with the toe and the nice exit out of turn 3. He's going to have the inside line. Oh no! Saltalamacchia squeezing him quite a bit there. That was a little bit naughty, but I think he realized, I don't think that was intentional. I think he realized what was going on and moved back over to the center. And it looks like Martinson's going to take that position with the inside line for turn 6, and he does relatively easily in turn 6 there. But that was a very close moment for these two. Of course, neither one of them want to give up the position, but at the same time, certainly don't want to be taking each other out. And look at this, Kerry Nolden really extending that gap up at the front, and it looks like Colin Cuniff is just nowhere to be seen. In fact, has he fallen behind Patrick White?
I think he has. I mean, he's completely disappeared. We're just going to try and get word from the pit lane to see if we can find out what happened. But
he did. He had a moment, and he's dropped behind. So yeah, there's Cuniff in 3rd position. We have confirmation now, as we can actually see Cuniff in 3rd. Patrick White, though, about the same distance from Kerry Nolden. I wouldn't say he's really closing that gap down at all. And here we move back to the battle between Martinson and Saltalamacchia, and it looks like there's a third car that's gotten involved in that.
Robinson. That's Robinson sticking behind. Robinson, the independent, but behind a top team and a lower team battling for points. Of course, Saltalamacchia, he's lost it, and he's completely lost it now. So he's going to be all the way down in 10th as we go into the battle for 5th position. Jordan Housen, he's overtaken Brock, but this is about for 5th position. This isn't where Brock usually is. And of course, Housen is always here. He's always finishing in the top 5, top 10 at least. But I think that's Marcus Jensen in the background. Something must have happened to Marcus Jensen early in the race for him to drop back behind these two drivers.
Yep, and great move from Housen there. Nice defending from Vandenbroek as well, really doing his best. And Housen not going to defend the inside line, surprisingly enough, for turn 5. And just look how easily, but he runs deep. Brock runs deep. Housen comes straight back at him.
That was definitely a bit illegal because he just completely went off the track. Of course, you have to think about the incident points as well. Remember, there's a 17-point incident limit, and if you breach it, you of course get disqualified. But performing an illegal overtake can get reprimanded after the race by the stewards. So Brock, I don't know what he did, but either way, he got overtaken by Housen again as this battle for 5th actually grows into a freeway battle as Jensen is properly closed up now. This is very deep end for Brock here because he's facing 2 very quick drivers, and I'm just wondering if he can actually hold on.
Yep, he's got just ahead of him. He's got the former championship leader Jordan Housen. Just behind him, he's got the new boy, the fast newcomer Marcus Jensen, who had that incident earlier in the race, which really, and he had a fantastic start too. But Vandenbroek in a very difficult spot here now, as they're coming towards the end of lap 22 to start the penultimate lap of the race. Just 2 laps remaining, and look at how Jensen has closed up on the back of Gino Vandenbroek. He is definitely going to be looking. He is much closer to Brock than Brock is to Housen. Housen, though, losing speed down the straight without that slipstream. Vandenbroek moves to the inside. Jensen, for the 3rd time this race, is going to make it 3 wide into turn 1. Once again, though, he's got the middle lane. I'm not sure that's going to work out for him. Vandenbroek overtakes Housen. Jensen overtakes Housen as well. Housen losing a couple of positions through turn 1 there, and Vandenbroek now just has a little over 2 laps to defend from these 2 fantastic racers behind him.
Yes, and of course Brock, he still has that wing damage as from the earlier on in the race, as Marcus Jensen is on the outside as we head into the next corner. But this is very difficult situation now because Brock is just driving and hoping he can stay in 5th. This would be a massive result for him. Even 7th or 6th place would be a great result, but he's having to hold off from 2 very quick drivers as Jensen gets really close. This is amazing driving from all 3 drivers as this continues to develop. It's just gonna, hopefully this doesn't end badly, but this is really close racing.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from all 3 of these guys. It's amazing to see, actually. I thought Jordan was going to really have this I thought he was going to grab that with both hands, but no, lost both positions at the beginning, or lost 2 positions at the beginning of the lap. Brock now coming onto the back straight. He's not going to have that slipstream. Going to go through the turn 11 kink here. Very high-speed corner. Thrilling stuff going through there. Jensen all over the back of him. So is Housen as well. Are they going to go 3 wide into turn 12? They are. Jordan Housen with the inside line. Vandenbroek in the middle.
Oh, he's outbroke himself.
Very deep, very deep.
Yes, he does.
He's kept it out of the barrier, so he is going to be able to continue in 7th position, but that has left Jensen and Housen to continue their battle. Housen running a little bit off the track as well. As you mentioned, those incident points, you got to be careful about that as they come through the final corner to start the final lap of this race. Lap 24 out of 24. Housen behind Jensen, coming down the straight. He's in the slipstream. He's pretty far back, so I think Jensen is going to be able to hold on to the position heading into turn 1, but turn 5 is going to be another story entirely as he may come under attack from Jensen. And here is turn 5, and that is Van Rompuy getting lapped once again, I believe, by Patrick White.
Yes, it is. As actually, Jordan actually was close enough. He overtook him the outside, but Jensen is going to try.
Holy cow!
Jensen's going to try. No, he's not close enough to get back in position. But of course, we have this straight. We have another straight with various. I think the entire track is an overtaking opportunity. As Jensen, he's now on the slipstream. Brock in the background. He's got 7th secured. It's still a good result for him. But of course, if these two get tangled up, that'll be 5th place for him. But Jensen, he's sticking very close to Jordan. But of course, we've got about half a lap to go.
You know, speaking from a totally unbiased perspective, I gotta say, Jordan and Marcus here might want to consider starting a team, because these two guys are absolutely fantastic to watch. They're really pushing each other, and it's absolutely amazing. We're on the final lap of the race, only about half a lap still remaining going through the carousel. Housen leads Jensen with Brock again in the distance there, and here is Kerry Nolden coming through the final set of corners here. That is the final corner as he comes onto the back straight, and it looks like Kerry Nolden, unless his engine explodes, is going to win this race, and I'm sure he is going to be absolutely thrilled in a race where it was looking like Patrick White was just had it easily. Patrick White in the end finishes 2nd position. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled about that. Here we go, Jensen around the outside at turn 12. That's going to give him the inside line for turn 13. Is he going to take the position? It's a very high-speed corner. It looks like he was squeezed up a little bit, and it looks like Housen is going to take that position, and he's going to finish in 5th position ahead of Marcus Jensen. Oh no, and that's it looks like Martinson. Is that Martinson?
Yeah, that's Martinson. Something's happened. He's from 8th position. He's crashed into the wall by the looks of things, and he's trying desperately to get to the finish line.
Yeah, he's crab walking through turn 13. He's just got one more corner and then a nice long straight.
Now, but he's in 10th now. He's lost 2 positions. Both the Peter Newman media cars have just gained another position as Martinson desperately trying to get to. Wow!
Oh gosh! Come on! I'm rooting for him. Oh my gosh, that is painful to watch. He's run right off the circuit. Is he going to be able to get to the finish line? He's trying to steer that broken car through the grass. He doesn't have. He's gonna. Here comes some more cars. He's going to lose even more positions here. I believe that's Gregor Reineck. Yeah, he loses a position to Reineck Jr. there. He's coming down the start-finish straight. He's got no top speed, of course, on account of his car's condition, but it does appear that he is going to finish just behind Gregor Reineck Jr. only barely, and what a finish for Martinson and for everybody else. Absolutely amazing. That was absolutely, especially considering that we didn't have either of the Nuclear Racing guys. Kerry Nolden in the end finishes 1.1 seconds ahead of Patrick White, with Colin Cuniff about 5.6 seconds behind the two of them. Patrick White, though, taking fastest lap of the race, over 0.8 faster than Kerry Nolden's fastest lap. Fantastic performance from Patrick White. Really unfortunate what happened in the pit stops. Michael Mittner takes 4th position. Relatively quiet race from him. Didn't see a whole lot of him towards the end. Jordan Housen, of course, finishing ahead of Jensen and Gino Vandenbroek, who finished in 6th and 7th. Leanne Robinson taking that 8th place position, 10 seconds back, another 7 seconds back to Robert Plumley, and then Vittorio Saltalamacchia. 2 cars in the top 10 for Peter Newman Media. I'm sure they're very happy about that. Martinson just barely getting that 11th place position, just 4 seconds ahead of Steve Kagerer, actually. There really not much between them. So Martinson, I'm sure, is going to be disappointed in the end of that race, but happy to grab 10 points, all things considered, with Evan Imre, again, who was new last race, getting that 13th place. Alexander Van Rompuy as first of the cars that was lapped, followed by Gregor Reineck Jr., unfortunately down in 15th place. Grabbed 6 points, though, good for him. Nigel Spears in 16th place, also 2 laps down, grabs 5th place. Leister, Reed, Newman, Johansson, all DNFing or disqualifying. Actually, I'm not sure what happened with Phil Reed. Hopefully quickly and get a little bit of information on that. Harley Lewis and Teemu Valkjärvi, of course, in that lap 1 incident. Very unfortunate stuff, especially for Teemu Valkjärvi. But that is the nature of these cars with those cold tires. Very, very difficult to try and defend or to overtake in those opening laps. Very, very disappointing. And I'm sure they're going to be really looking forward towards the next race and having a improved performance after such a disappointing day at Road America here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help ACR a lot as we go on to the Drivers' Championship. Patrick White does actually take the lead of the championship after that great race for him, but could have been a victory. Noda moves up to second, he's only 2 points behind. Howson stays in third, actually drops down to third, actually. Only 9 points behind. As Alatalo, he drops down, not appearing. Phil Reed, he doesn't score any points, nor does Nuka Reinen. Mina moves up to 7th. Martinson actually stays in 8th place. I think he actually moved, no, he stayed in 8th place, as Colin Cunniff, he moves up into 9th. Christoph Leister in 10th position with 60 points, very close up at the top.
Yeah, especially between, I would say about 6th to 10th, like, well, first to 5th and then 6th through 10th, pretty close there. Teemu Valkjärvi with 59 points, doing pretty well, all things considered with today's race. Gregor Reineck Jr. with 55 points, followed by Robert Plumley, who is the highest ranking of the Peter Newman media guys. Andreas Merck, who was not at the race today, he is in 14th with 37 points. Then we got a two-way tie between Domenico Demeno and Dino Vandenbroek with 36 points. Haven't seen Demeno in a while, so I do imagine Vandenbroek going to be moving ahead of him shortly. Wow, and then also Lewis and Leanne Robinson as well, tied at 35 points. So it's not just close at the top, it looks like it's close in the midfield as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any finish at the minute is going to get them points. Let's move on to the third page of the standings. Neil Lucan's the lowest of Team AOR with 23 points. Kagura, he's moving up. He's had he debuted in Spa, I believe, and he's moving up slowly but surely. He's got 22 points and in 22nd place. Trowbridge, who didn't make it this race, he's 23rd. Craig Bax, 24th. Peter Newman, the lowest of the Peter Newman media cars, so that's not exactly where he wants to be, I don't believe. But Marcus Jensen, he's moving up the field in 26th place with 17 points. Von Rompuy, Evans, Broadmeadow and Spears round up the top 30.
Great job from Marcus Jensen. He's got to be one of my drivers of the day, I would say. I mean, just 2 races in already with 17 points, and he hasn't had the best of luck either. He really hasn't had the rub of the green, so I'm sure he's going to be one to watch for future races, certainly for podiums, possibly for race wins, especially if Kerry Nolden continues to struggle in the way he did. Obviously, he won the race, but you know, he's been far more dominant in the past. Team AOR, though, taking the lead, or in the lead, with 232 points from Nuclear Racing's 206. Carbon Racing could have been such a better day for them. They almost had that 1-2. 131 points for Gregor Reineck Jr. and Patrick White combined. ACR currently in 4th, not too far, 16 points behind Carbon Racing. Still a battle there, and also between them and Peter Newman Media as well. Looks like it's going to be a thrilling fight for the top of the team's championship, and also for that 3rd place position between, and then of course Team YR Race and Mercurial Motorsports. That is such a tough word, tough team to say.
Yes, I mean, you're still having trouble even now, but yeah, they've pulled out of the series, so I don't expect them to be scoring points anytime soon. And we're moving on to the independents. It's the same old drivers. Jordan Howson in the lead still, Phil Reed 2nd, not scoring any points. Mittner 3rd, Leicester still 4th, Colin Cunniff, a privateer, is in 5th. White on there and Courtesy. Robinson, he's moving up. Merck wasn't here. Lewis, of course, with that massive crash at the start. And Domeno, who hasn't appeared for quite a few races now, which is a damn shame, with a 2nd place in the first race of the season. Kager, he's moving up the field slowly but surely. 43 points. Jensen, also an independent. He's tied with Evans. Got Spears, Van Rompuy, Imre, who joined last race. Reineck also there on Courtesy. Broadmeadow for Apex Racing UK, a privateer. Lawrence and Johansson, who's also a newer driver. He's in 20th. That rounds up the top 20.
Yep, and as I mentioned before, I really hope to see some of these guys forming some teams because, again, it was fantastic to watch Housen and Jensen battling it out here today at Road America, and really hoping that if they can't find a team with each other, that they can with somebody else, because it was really exciting to watch the two of those guys. Fantastic stuff, fantastic race. One of the best road racing circuits in America, I would say, as an American. It doesn't get much better. Yep, it's fantastic though. Much better than some of the other ones, if you ask me. Coming up next week, it is at Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport as it's called. Really interesting circuit here, very flowing corners, got some hairpins, got several overtaking locations, some S sections. It should be a lot of fun. It's a relatively short lap, so it is going to be 44 laps long, and it should be a really good one, although with all the altitude changes and everything like that, it could get a little bit messy in the race. We may see some contact. My thanks to Crekkan for joining me, and for Fizzy as well. Hopefully we'll be seeing Dre showing up at next week. He was busy this week. He's doing big awesome things. And of course, thanks to Togomies for doing the graphics. And we'll see you guys next time at Mosport.
See ya.